Hello guys, it's Denise here, Junk Journal Junkie UK. I'm going to have a go today at making a cover, a soft cover with some magazine pages. The only issues I might have is that it could be that the shiny pages that I'm using might play up with the light, so here's hoping I'm not blinding you, but I'll have to give it a go and see, because I'm sure you'd love to see this. And I am literally just sitting down and playing. I glued one page and then thought, oh, maybe people would like to see this, even if it's just playing as I go along. So good morning, I hope you're all well. So I'm making a cover for the second Flower Fairy journal, and I've pulled out these. See, even the sunlight is shining on them. I don't know, I'll just have to film it and see if it's no good. Pulled out these, is that better? Pictures that I love from if you remember the Flower Fairy, no, they're not Flower Fairies, they're just fairies, the Fairy Princess Fairy Bride Wedding. So I just pulled 4 pages. It was the book with the CD on the front, if you watch my channel regularly. The one that I had to buy another one of, but I know that happens a lot. So that doesn't narrow it down much, does it? But anyway, so my idea is to stick those on the front, and I'm just going to stick loads of magazine pages together, because I've done it a few times. I think it was Joey DeFee that I first saw, who inspired me to do this, and I've made some really big ones. I'll have to share them with you. Some like art lap books, and they make fabulous I don't know, touchy-feely covers, sort of bendy but strong. And it's a good way for using up your magazine. So all I did, I just stuck 2 pages, and then I thought, oh, I bet people would like to see this. So not that I know where I'm going with it, but what's there to lose? So what I did was I pulled a load of pages off. I folded some, not many, just a few that way, and just a few the other way. I'm not done with them all now, I've just ripped all those off there, because I want it just slightly bigger than the size of the magazine page, not a lot but a little bit, and I want a bit to trim off. So all I did was, and I'm using up the Elmer's glue because my 12 pack of Scotch glue is here, so I desperately need to use this up. This is a brilliant project for using it up. Like I say, I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing yet, but it will be stitched over. So as long as I just get this to stick some of the layers down, that will be a good use for it. So it only needs to be somewhere near, because you will be able to trim it down. But the thing about this is, the ones I've made before, you can make them as fat or as thin as you want, and they really are quite sturdy. Just looking how much I've added, so I've added about 1 inch maybe. I think that should be enough. Yeah, so they're quite strong, especially if you stitch them. I mean, you don't have to, if you're good with your glue and get to the ends, you know, glue them really well. They do not have to be stitched at all. And obviously the more layers that you put on them, the stronger they are. So the very first one that I did, which is the one that I think I was following Joey DeFee, I made it like this, and then I just covered it with lots of other glossy pictures that I'd stored. See, that didn't go down straight, and it really doesn't matter. Stored and loved, but you know, glossy pictures not really the sort of thing for journals. So it's a good thing to just sit and kind of do mindlessly, just enjoy like I do, playing with. I'll extend it that way a touch as well, playing with the glue and the paper and seeing what you can create at the end of it. I don't know about you, but sometimes I just get a little bit bored with doing the same things over and over. When you make as many journals as I do, I'm like stuck a little bit in a rut. Like, yeah, I've made that, I've done those pockets like that so many times, and I've, you know, stitched the fabric like that so many times. So sometimes it's nice to ring the changes and do something different, a bit out of your comfort zone. That's what Not that this will be right out of your comfort zone, because really, like I say many times, the sheer joy of just playing with the paper like a child, or you know, the pleasure that you'd get as a child doing stuff like this is enough on its own. And then if you get something beautiful or usable or whatever at the end of it, you've got a double, a double win. I've probably made that a bit wide now, but and an odd shape at that end for some strange reason. And then I think Joey DeFee did it, like she went on and did a few, so I've seen her do it with book pages, you know, that are not shiny. She's made covers, she's made masterboards. I'm sure lots of other people do it as well. It's just that it was watching Joey that set me off on my playing with book pages journey. You know, book pages you won't think about using, as opposed to the nice old ones that we use for masterboards and things like that. Right, I just need to get something on that far end, I think, really. And you don't even have to use whole pages like this. You could just use root picks, sort of paper mache style. And like I say, you can just build and build and build and make it as thick as you want. Stick bits in. If you've got like that edge bit there, will be a bit thin. I could always, if I wanted to, stick a piece in there. I'm not going to, because I'm not going to be that fussy. I'm kind of experimenting. Okay, I hope you've all got your names down for the draw, because I will be pulling the draw, or when you see this, the same day. So today, when you see this, the draw will be drawn, if you see what I mean. And I don't think, as I've looked back over my videos, I don't think I've actually said what the prize is. In fact, I'm pretty sure I haven't. I did just talk about putting certain things that I'd made into it, but I'm going to make ephemera packs up, so there will definitely be 2 Flower Fairy ones, and I might make another one, a third one, and then if you're really not a more generic one, if Flower Fairies are not necessarily your thing, because shock, horror, I know, not everybody's into the Flower Fairies, so if Flower Fairies are not your thing, I can just send you a generic ephemera pack. It's just really a little something to say thank you for subscribing and watching my videos, and I don't know, I think it's nice to have something made by other people. Sometimes you get ideas. It's just, for me, it's the pleasure that someone will share their well, their art, their craft with me, because a lot of time and effort and love, energy goes into making these things. Oh, hello. Are we all not laid down on here? Got a bit of a party going on. I don't know how much you can see. I wonder if I can take you a little bit higher. The thing is, if I go too much, all you get is a view of my floor and not much else. Is that any good? Oh, you might be a bit high. Straining your neck now. We'll see. Anyway, so I think what I'll do is I'll glue it down. Yes, you can see I'm thinking out loud now. Oh, I didn't stick that one down because that was on the outside. Never mind. It can be now. Just wondering if to stitch it first. No, I don't think I will stitch it first. But obviously it's going to take a little bit of drying. So I think what I'll do is glue it down, let it dry. Then I will trim it to the size, roughly the size that I'm going to want. Just feel out, you see that's really quite thick now. when that glue dries. Yeah, the glue's going to take a lot of drying. I'm going to leave that at that because I think it'll be more than thick enough. So I'm going to leave it to dry. If it dries quick enough, I'll come back to you on this video. Well, I will come back to you on this video. I'll come back to you today, and I'll trim it down, and then we'll stick these pictures on it, and then we'll sew it. So I'll see you in a second. Okay guys, I'm back and it's dry. So it's thickened up lovely. I think that's when the glue dries, it skews the glitter. It thickens it up as well. So actually, while I was waiting off camera, I made another one as well, a big one. This one isn't dry, and it's quite soft, so I think wait until it's dry gives you a better idea of how thick you want it, because that's going to take a bit of folding. I didn't want it too thick. I mean, you can have them really thick if you want. And I dug out the one that I was telling you about that I started to make with Joey DeFee. I might have shared this with you before, I don't know. It's in my project to finish box, and it's been there a long time, to be honest with you. And I really must get to it, because every time I take it out I think how much I like it. So it was much the same thing. It was book pages, I think. Oh yeah, you can see on the inside, look. So it was book pages really. Now I think we put the boring ones inside and then the prettier ones on top, so you can see that's like a botanical book, but they're going in all directions. And then I just cut out lots of pictures that I like I said, the shiny ones from the magazines and books that perhaps didn't fit in the normal junk journals, and stuck them on patchwork style, kind of franking paper style, I guess. And then sewed round some, so they're not all sewed round, some of them have, so it's not entirely quilt like or patchwork, but very similar, and enough just to keep the whole thing, you know, kind of in place. So you can see how huge I made it. Yeah, my intention was to make it into a, well, to put a small signature in it, which I've kind of got together here with all sorts in it, and then and that would obviously open forward, and then a pocket in the back there with this altered shopping bag, food bag, I don't know, it's a Tesco's brown bag anyway, that I put some paper on. One of those things I really must get back to. I think I said that last time as well. Just to give you an idea of what I was talking about. Maybe need something doing with the edge and what have you, but that's the kind of thing I was thinking. However, while this was drying, I also got this book. This is the book that I was talking about with the pictures in it. So I had a couple of the pictures out, I think. Just beautiful, aren't they? I hope they're not too, they are a little bit shiny. I've got my light on because it's so dark. I hope it's not shining on you. But the pictures, choosing the pictures, I wasn't trying to choose without you. I was just having a quick look, thinking, would that do? And I think they're big pictures, and there's a few really lovely ones that are whole. I don't particularly want to cut up, so I'm thinking rather than doing this patchwork, I might just put two big pictures on the front, which, you know, for instance, that would be lovely on the front. Where is the, you know, so if I kind of put that in the right place there, and then another one behind it, you know, for the back, that would be a lovely cover, wouldn't it? I mean, I could still stitch round it, just not the patchworky bits. I'm thinking that would be nice. But this one is for the boho-y journal, so I don't know if I want, that's a bit more boho, isn't it? Sorry, I'll have to stop wafting them about. That one's gorgeous. Mushrooms. I wish you could talk to me. What I'm thinking is it's these are a little bit pink, if anything, pinky orangey, and I'm looking more for, yeah, sort of bluey pinks and purples. So some of these maybe. one's nice. Let's just keep looking through. We might come back to those. I don't want a big fish. Or a big frog. Yeah, that's quite a nice bluey. It's got a big fairy in the middle of it as well. I love these little pixies. What did I do? Shall we pull all the blue ones out and then we can make a... Is it that one? Yep, so we've got that one. Oops. Sorry if that crackled. That one. Any more blue? Ooh. We'll put her in the pile just for a look. I know it's not the colour I said at all. It's the wedding again, isn't it? Well, that might be nice for the back. Let's take that one out. And I like that as well. It's not blue, it's bright red, but yeah, not so keen on that. So right, let me just gather together what we need. A short list. Woo. I maybe should part with some of these, shouldn't I, guys? If you'd like to see some of these pages in my Etsy shop, I'll probably only make one pack up, but just let me know down below and I will do it, because I have got my other book. Oh, I said not those, didn't we? Not the wedding. So the red ones, I like that for the back. It's got the big blue butterfly. And if you remember, I've said before, I don't like the caterpillar bit in a butterfly. He's got legs, he's like a bug. He's acceptable, I can accept him. So those two go quite nice together. Well, we've got these pinky palette. I think I like the magicalness of those two, so let's have a look if they fit. I think she'll be nice on the front, although she's not a fairy, but she's covered. Pity the actual frame wouldn't fit on the front, isn't it? Let's cut some of it down. I know it won't, but just to see what it would look like in its frame. Right, looking at the camera, I have a feeling you might be a bit low again. Let me just have a look. It never goes together in the same place twice. So, hello, welcome back. I hope you're still well. It's been a few hours since I did the first half of the video. Can't even remember if I was chatting with you or not, but I'm sure I must have. No, you were high. Excuse me. Higher up than I thought you were. Let me just have a quick drink. Oh, you see, you can tell that my throat's still closed by the horrendous noise it makes when I swallow. Yeah, it won't go anywhere near, will it? This is the problem with beautiful pages that I have. Whoops. Cutting in a straight line is another problem that I have. Right, let's not make it too small after all that. It's just knowing where to overlap now, isn't it? Because obviously we've got a headless pixie or fairy, whatever he is there, so we don't really want him in. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad, does it? So this one obviously wants to go on first. Do we want the... Let's have a look roughly where the middle is going to be. Oh, there's a thick bit there. And I have to remember it probably won't be this tall by the time I finish with it either, so yes, we may be losing that light fairy at the bottom, but that's alright. So now we need to stick her on there so we can chop her off, if you see what I mean. So I'd like most of that picture on there. There's the middle, about there. Right, so to get the butterfly on, it needs to be there. What have we got? We might have to chop the frog's legs off. No pun intended. Right, let's right, I've got my Scotch glue out because brand new one. Oh, don't move that. Oh, twizzling it the wrong way because I want both of these are shiny, and I know I'm going to sew around the edge. I want them to stay put, so let's just get him where we want him roughly. That's it. Whoops. Wow. Didn't glue my edges down very well. Everything should be covered up in here and not a problem. And it'll be, this is quite a thick piece of book page that's going on here. And obviously I'm going to do the same inside. So it should be quite a nice thick. Okay, so we want to hide that little pixie's body who's headless. How much of that have I got on there? Yeah, most of that. Wonder if I need a straight cut down there. I did go a little bit wibbly, didn't I? I mean, it'll be covered up. Let's just straighten it up a little bit. It will be covered up with whatever I cover the spine with, so very probably lace or some kind of a trim. I just didn't want that great big hole. Yeah, it looked like dipped in really bad. It still does a little bit, but that's better. So where are we going? About there. Yeah, about there. Okay. So this is me again, just kind of crafting on the fly, going with it. I just thought you'd like to come along and watch how I mess about when I'm coming up with a new idea. And I do mess about. This is where I get my fun. I think I've said it to you so many times now, but for me it's not necessarily about that finished product. This is the bit that I love. The sticking and the gluing and the, creating things. Sometimes they're good things. Sometimes they're like, interesting idea. But it's where I get the pleasure. Okay. So of course I have realised that this writing up there, I haven't lost my mind. It will be covered with something. Thinking I might just pop a bit of art glitter down there just to, like I say, it is going to be, it won't be stitched down here though, but it is going to be covered with something, but we don't want it coming up. I've got wet wipes out drying, but they're still wet, they're not dry yet, hence the fingers. I have found a bit of space around my desk and work area today. I've pulled out all the journals that need completing. I'm going to have a mass complete and a mass list on Etsy, which will take forever. But it'd be nice to have them. Well, it'd be nice to have them sold so they're in somebody else's house, to be honest. But it'd be nice to have them listed and then they can go away in the box safely. Yeah. So we'll trim that round so that we can do the same on the back. Decide what we're going to put. Now the inside I don't want to use. I'm going to use book page still. I don't particularly want to use the really gorgeous images because chances are, you know, it's going to be covered up, a lot of it, with oops, pockets and things like that. Gosh, my throat still doesn't like me talking much. It just looks like a book page now. I don't want to bend it till it's dry, but you can see roughly where it's going to bend there. So that piece has gone round. Go on, do it. Yeah, it's a bit shiny for you, sorry, but there's a lot going on up there. I might trim the bottom as low as I can and trim more up there, which will take more of that off, won't it? Because I'd quite like to keep that froggy. And it needs to dry before I do any kind of trimming and sewing. So, what do we think we want in the middle then? Let's have a look what I've got pulled out. I'm so sorry. Let me just tie that up. I've not got it, it's the microphone, I haven't got it attached to me so that you can't hear all my gasping and swallowing and what have you. Oh look, it's a double page. I wonder if we could do that. That might be good, might it? Not losing anything much, that beautiful fairy. But can't keep them all. How am I going to do this? I think if I can't get in for you. Just cut up there and across there. It will be too big, but it will be more manageable if I can cut in anything like a straight line. Well, that's crying out to be a tag or something, just with the colours, isn't it? Don't look at the straight line, the alleged straight line. I blame it on the antibiotics, they stop you cutting straight lines. Oh my, I chopped into it. Look at that. You're a danger to yourself. No, we were going to have that top bit chopped off anyway, aren't we? So that was lucky. Yeah, it's just it's got all these lovely colours on it and that'll probably end up being covered anyway. So, let's go with the Scotch glue then. Do this half first. I really ought to put something on my desk. Got all these magazine pages here. Might as well glue on them. I'm sorry again if it's shiny. I will master this light. Well, maybe I won't because there are YouTubers who've been doing it a long time who are struggling with the light. So, but I will keep trying to master the light issues. Of course, what I really need is a studio, a design studio. I can see where the edge, don't think I glued up to the edge of it started because of the magazine underneath. Now you might be looking at it thinking, oh my goodness me, what a mess. You have to trust me, it's the process, it won't be. Well, I don't think it will be, you still might not like it when it's done. Look at that cut. But it will look, I promise you it will look a lot better than this. With most things of this nature, like the master boards and what have you, just the sewing together and trimming transforms things. I'm using a lot of my glue, aren't I? And that's what it's for, I suppose. Yes, I'm having a conversation with myself now. talking to yourself is one thing, isn't it? Answering yourself quite another. Why have you gone baggy there? Just thick. Let's move that now. Oh, I'm so sorry, knocked you again. Where's that gadget that I used to love? Perfect. Perfect tool for the job, this. Should have used it on the other side. That's better. I think it's too late for you, isn't it? You're stuck. Yeah. Okay, so I'll just cut the bit off we can see, and then I'll just give it a moment. Well, it'll be a second for you guys, but I'll give it half an hour or so to dry. It might even take a little bit longer. Then I'll pop it through the trimmer and sew it, and come back on and show you how we're looking. Okay, so I'll be with you in a moment. Okay guys, so I've trimmed it and stitched round it on the very edges. I don't know if you've noticed, but I put a piece in there covering that small piece of text that was still left. I didn't do the inside, didn't cover the inside, because I'm going to put something down there, and I've cut something ready aside, because it's so many different colours there. So I thought if we put a side tuck, big side tuck in the front, and I've stitched it in the same thread so it kind of goes, and then it makes that just one long picture across there, and I'll just glue that on with fabric tack. But before I do that, I want to put this book plate in. If I put it quite high up, I don't think it will interfere too much. Put some tape behind it, don't think it will interfere too much with what's going to be put in that pocket. So I'm going to put it really high up there, and there's nothing up there, so it kind of needed filling in anyway. So I've got two very, very tiny, teeny tiny brads, because I've got enormous ones or tiny ones and nothing in between. And through. Yeah, it's not too bad to get through actually. It is lovely and what's the word? Pliable and scrunchy. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see that. Yeah. I was thinking actually while I was waiting for it to dry, I've also seen Pam at the Paper Outpost do something similar, sticking magazine pages together and making really squishy covers. That's so difficult to get straight, and if I do anything by eye, it never is. Let's try and line it up on a line. No, up a bit more. I don't really know if I'm achieving anything here. I don't think I am. So I'm trying to go by eye and look what it looks like. Same gap from here to here, and the two are not. Not looking at the same. What does that look like when I turn it up? I'm going to go for it. Okay, so remember I'm doing it into a mat here, and I've got my finger a long way away, well, a fair way away from it. Don't go sticking that all into your fingers because it will make a nasty mess. That's it. Yeah, I think if I just tape some tape on there, stick some tape on there, it will just stop anything catching. That's what have I got? Got a bit of washi here. that is pushed into the, if we put something in with stitching on or something like that, it just might catch on it. Pop a bit of this on, it should solve the problem. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, so it feels really nice. It's just a different way to make a cover, and you know, you use some of your stuff up that you know, is tricky to use. People give me magazines, and I do love some of the pictures out of them, but there's a lot of waste. So this is a really good way to use them up. Now I folded, it's just a piece of scrapbooking card really, and I folded the front over to make a nice edge. I could cut a divot out of it, but I'm thinking it'll be stronger if I don't. And it's obvious that it's a pocket, isn't it? Yeah, I don't think I'll bother. Because it'll take an envelope or something like that probably. Okay, so I've got stitching on stitching here, so I'm going to go quite freely with Fabri-Tac, and my Fabri-Tac is running freely now because I filled it up. So even though it's a little bit gloopy, it's so full, if I squeeze it hard, it's got no option but to run out. Okay, and I'm going to go quite close to the edge. Yeah, so just covering that end bit up completely changes the... So I did have to put the signature that I've got so far in it, just to see what size, finished size I wanted. And it had a very yellow page at the front. I mean, the signature's not necessarily where it's going to stay anyway, but I definitely don't want yellow against that. Excuse that banging. Don't know what's happening, but it's next door. Moving the furniture, I think. So I just swapped it over and put a blue page. Did I put the lid on that? Yeah. Yeah, just put a blue page in for now so we could just see what it looks like. That isn't straight, that book plate, I don't think. Yeah, so again it will have something, definitely have something down the spine here when I've sewn the signature in. But what that will be, I don't know, and it may have a trim on the edge, I don't know. The fairy's face is probably going to disappear into the... Or maybe not. No, it's not. Too far across the knees. No, it's not. It's just that there's a line there in the... So it'll probably be something across there, I would think, on this back page. Pocket or something like that, so that we still get the lovely picture, but we can tuck things in. Okay, so that's one way of making a cover. I didn't trim it off with you because I had to get my great big ruler out and my craft knife, which I find the best way. I have now got one of those big cutters, but I just find the craft knife so much more accurate when you use it with this. So I was all elbows and head, and you wouldn't have been able to see anything anyway. So thank you very much for joining me. Hope you've enjoyed watching me do that. I am going to do a few more covers for you to see, different types of covers, and I'm going to build up a stash of them for myself. So I will be back. I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what I'll be doing. I might be just finishing off some things. I've got so many things started here, so we might finish off the scrap journal, or I don't know. Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow. Give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, and I will be back in 2 days definitely with more Flower Fairies, sewing in signatures and filling the journals. Okay guys, I hope you have a lovely day. See you all soon. Bye bye.